Right now, as you watch this video, you are in prison. But this is not an ordinary prison. It has no stone walls or metal bars. This prison is built from your own thoughts. And the most amazing thing, you are guarding it yourself. Welcome to the second part of the Awakening series. Today, we will reveal the quantum secret that will change your understanding of reality forever. In the first video, we talked about the ego being an illusion, but there is something even more fundamental: the very mind that creates this illusion. Your rational mind is not a tool for knowing truth. It is a filter that distorts reality. Imagine a radio receiver. It doesn't create music, it only tunes to a specific frequency and filters out all others. In exactly the same way, your mind is tuned to a very narrow band of perception. Quantum physics shows us what we call material reality is 99.99999% empty space. Atoms are not solid balls, but clouds of probability. But your mind creates the illusion of solidity, separation, linear time. Why? Because it is programmed to see the world through the lens of survival, fear, the desire to possess and control. Samadhi teaches us the mind is not you. The mind is a tool. But we have identified with it so much that we've forgotten who holds this tool. Key question: who is the one observing your thoughts right now? Who is aware that you are thinking?
Let's dive deeper into the quantum mystery. In the early 20th century, physicists made a shocking discovery. Matter behaves differently depending on whether it is being observed or not. This is called the observer effect. An electron can be both a wave and a particle simultaneously. But when you observe it, it collapses into a definite state. This means consciousness affects matter at the most fundamental level. Your mind constantly performs this act of collapsing. From an infinite field of possibilities, it chooses one pattern, one version of reality, and says, "This is real." But this is not objective reality. This is a projection of the conditioned mind. In ancient Vedic texts, this is called Maya, not simply illusion, but a divine creative force that creates the world of forms from the formless. But when we identify with forms, we forget about the formless. Quantum entanglement shows two particles can be connected instantaneously, regardless of distance. Separation is an illusion. At the quantum level, everything is one. But your rational mind divides, classifies, creates boundaries. The cage of the mind is not a place. It is a way of perceiving that makes you believe you are a separate I, isolated from the universe. Practice. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice the space between thoughts. That's where freedom begins.
The rational mind is the greatest deceiver. It is so skillful that it can convince you it's seeking truth while actually defending its territory. Trap number 1: analysis instead of experience. The mind wants to understand everything, explain, organize. But some truths cannot be understood. They can only be experienced. When you try to analyze the present moment, you're already in the past. Life happens in this instant, but the mind is always somewhere else. Trap number 2: spiritual ego. The subtlest trap, when the mind appropriates spiritual practices. I meditate every day. I'm more awakened than others. This is just a new mask of ego. True awakening doesn't make you special. It dissolves the very idea of a separate I. Trap number 3, seeking in the future. The mind says, when I achieve enlightenment, then I'll be happy. But enlightenment is not a future achievement. It's a present awareness of what already is. You are already free, but your mind creates a story that freedom is somewhere out there, ahead. Trap number 4, conceptualization of truth. The mind collects concepts about enlightenment, reads books, listens to teachers, but a concept of water won't quench thirst. You can know 1,000 definitions of love, but it won't replace the experience of love. Samadhi is not a philosophical idea. It's a direct experience of unity with all existence. And the rational mind cannot enter there because it is built on separation. Key truth: you cannot think your way to freedom. You can only be free right now.
If the mind is a prison, then who is the prisoner? And most importantly, who can go free? There is a dimension of your being that exists beyond the mind. In traditions, it's called by different names: the witness, the observer, pure consciousness, Atman, true self. Right now, conduct a simple experiment. Notice that you are aware of these words. Now notice that you are aware that you are aware. There is an awareness that knows about the existence of your thoughts, emotions, body. But this awareness itself is not a thought, emotion, or body. It's like a screen in a cinema. All dramas, tragedies, comedies unfold on the screen, but the screen itself remains untouched. Characters on the screen cannot damage the screen itself. Your mind is the content on the screen. Your true I is the screen itself. When you identify with the content, you suffer. When you realize yourself as the screen, you are free. In Samadhi, it is said, the observer and the observed are one. When there is no thinker separate from thoughts, then there is only pure awareness. This is not mysticism. This is the most practical thing. Every time you notice a thought without identifying with it, you take a step toward freedom. Meditative practice. Who am I? Not as an intellectual question, but as a living inquiry. Don't seek the answer in the mind. Allow the question to dissolve all concepts about yourself. In this dissolution, the gateway to freedom.
How do you get out of the cage of the mind? The paradox is that there is no way out, because you were never inside. The cage is an illusion, but the illusion is so convincing that it requires a quantum leap in perception. Method 1. Disidentification. Every time a thought arises, I must, I fear, I want. Stop. Ask, who is this I? Don't accept the mind's answer. Stay in the question. In this space of questioning, the mind loses its power. Method 2. Observation without judgment. The mind constantly evaluates good, bad, right, wrong. This creates internal conflict. Practice pure observation. Watch your thoughts like clouds in the sky. They come and go, and the sky remains untouched. Method 3. Presence in the body.
The mind lives in past and future. The body is always in the present. When you are fully aware of your breath, sensations in the body, you automatically exit the mental prison. This is not concentration, it's relaxed presence. Method 4. Accepting not knowing. The mind wants to know everything, control everything. But the highest wisdom is to admit, I don't know. Not as defeat, but as liberation. When you release the illusion of knowing, true understanding opens. The quantum leap doesn't happen as a result of accumulating practices. It happens in the moment when you simply stop. Stop running, seeking, resisting. In this stopping, the entire universe is here. Samadhi is not an achievement. It's a recognition of what has always been here.
What happens when you begin to live beyond the domination of the mind? This doesn't mean the mind disappears. It remains a useful tool. But now it's not the master, it's the servant. Spontaneity instead of planning. When the mind is in its place, spontaneity appears. Life flows through you, not from you. You stop constantly planning, controlling, worrying. You respond to the moment rather than reacting from the past. Intuition instead of logic. A deeper way of knowing opens, intuition. This is not fortune-telling or imagination. This is direct perception that comes from unity with all. You simply know without the process of thinking. Creativity instead of copying. The mind can only combine the known. True creativity comes from beyond the mind, from the emptiness where the new is born. Great discoveries, art, insights, they all come in moments when the mind is silent. Love instead of attachment. The mind creates attachment. I need this person to be happy. Beyond the mind, there is love, unconditional, requiring nothing in return. This is not an emotion. This is the very nature of your true being. Freedom instead of fear. All fears are born in the mind. Fear of loss, fear of death, fear of loneliness. When you realize yourself as that which observes the mind, fear loses its power, because the true self is invulnerable. This is not theory. This is a living reality available to everyone who is ready to stop and look beyond mental noise. Many spiritual seekers make one mistake. They try to destroy the mind or escape from the world. But the true path is integration. Mind as a tool. Imagine the mind is a calculator. When you need to calculate, you pick it up. When finished, you put it aside. The problem is that most people keep the calculator on 24/7, even when sleeping. The mind calculates, analyzes, compares non-stop. The task is not to break the calculator. The task is to learn to turn it off. Presence in action. You can work, communicate, do daily tasks, and yet remain rooted in awareness. This is called meditation in action. You do what you do, but inside there is silence, space, presence. From personal to universal. When you live from awareness, the personal I doesn't completely disappear. It becomes transparent. Something greater acts through you. Your actions are no longer dictated by fear or desire. They become a response to the whole. Compassion without pity. You see the suffering of others, but don't immerse yourself in it. You can help,
but without the drama of a rescuer. Because you understand, everyone goes through their own path of awakening. True compassion is seeing in another the same pure consciousness as in yourself. The paradox of integration. You live in the world, but not of the world. You play a role, but know you are not the role. You use the mind, but are not enslaved by it. This is mastery. Dancing in two dimensions simultaneously. Form and formless. Time and eternity. Personality and infinity. We've come to the end of this journey, but in reality, this is only the beginning. The quantum secret we talked about is absurdly simple. You are already free. The cage of the mind is real only as long as you believe in it. As soon as you see that it's an illusion, it loses its power. But you need to see not with the mind. With the mind, you can only understand the concept. You need to see with your entire being. 3 keys to freedom: awareness, constant remembrance of who you really are; disidentification, seeing thoughts, emotions as clouds in the sky; presence, living in this moment, not in stories about past and future. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose freedom, not tomorrow, not after years of practice. Now, in this very instant, you can stop, take a breath, and realize, I am not thoughts. I am that which observes thoughts. The path of Samadhi is not a path of accumulation. It's a path of liberation from everything unnecessary. And the most unnecessary thing is the idea that you need to go somewhere, achieve something. You are what you seek. In the next video, we will dive even deeper. We will talk about dissolving the last boundaries, about unity with all existence, about what happens when the disappearing one disappears. But for now, practice. Not as effort, but as returning home. The key has always been in your hands. Namaste. The light in my heart greets the light in your heart.